on your marketplace, you will have two types of users. You will have the hosts that will be able to post listings, to offer places for rent. And on the other side, you will have customers who will come to your marketplace to book these places for a certain period of time. So we're going to go and create these two user groups. So go to users, user groups, and here by default you don't have any group. So let's create one by clicking on add user group. We'll start by creating the host group. So for the title, simply put host. And of course, we allow them to create listings. So we'll leave the option to yes. As for the type of account, if you happen to deal with companies, you would choose companies, but usually, most of the time, you will be dealing with individuals. So we let it at individual. And since we will have a dedicated page for the host to sign up, we won't make this a public group. So we put no. We also want to have only the usernames to display. So that's what we select here. And as for the URL to redirect after sign up, it's a good practice to redirect hosts to the new listing creation form right after signing up. And the URL is listing/new. So whenever a visitor signs up as a host, well, they'll be redirected to this URL right after the sign up, and this URL corresponds to the new listing creation form. And finally, of course, we want this group to be active. Once it's done, we click on save. And here, a host group is created. Next, let's add the travelers group. And this time, this group won't be allowed to post listings since the travelers only come here to book listings, not create them. So select no. Again, most of the time, we will deal with individuals. So we'll let it at individuals. And we won't make this group public either. So we set it to no. And just as the seller, we will use only the usernames. Next, enter the URL to which you want to redirect users signing up as travelers to. You can redirect to any page you want, but we'll keep it simple and simply redirect to the home page, which is a simple slash. And finally, we want this group to be active too. So we'll select yes. And we click save. And here you have your two user groups, host and traveler. We have one more thing to do, and it is to give hosts a way to provide a little bit more of information about themselves to help the travelers make their choice when they browse the listings. And the way to do that is by adding user attributes. So go to user settings and go to user attributes. Here, we're going to create several user attributes. The first one will be an About Me section, which will come in the form of a short text box where the host will be able to add some simple descriptions about themselves, and it's always nice to have for the travelers. We won't make this a required field, and of course we want it to be displayed on the user's public profile. As for the visibility, we want it to be editable on the sign-up form and on the profile addition form. We can leave the sort priority to 0. And finally, the most important thing is to link this user attribute to the host user group. And we'll click save. Another user attribute we could add could be, say, hobby. And we're going to provide here multiple options for the host to select from. So we'll give it to them in the form of a checkbox, and you could say, for instance, maybe golf and tennis, or hiking cinema, photography. I think that's enough. And we won't make this a required field either. We also show it on the user's public profile. And for this one, I think it's better to put it only on the profile edition form. We won't bother the users when they sign up. We'll have a simpler form when they sign up, and then when they go on their profile edition form, they will be able to specify their hobbies. We'll leave it like this. Again, link it to the host group and click save. Another user attribute that we could add could be the languages that the host speaks, which is very important, since if you're creating an international marketplace, it will be very interesting for the travelers to see which languages the host speaks before renting from them. So, which languages do you speak? And again, it's going to be a checkbox. And here you can specify the most used languages, like, of course, English, Spanish, German, French, and also maybe Chinese. Like this, the host, when they will be editing their profiles, they will have all these choices to select from. And also, we won't make this a required field, and obviously we want it to be displayed on the user's public profile. And again, we won't bother the users when they sign up, but we want them to fill this information on their profile edition form. And again, link it to the host group and click save. Another interesting field that you could add as a user attribute will be whether the user is a professional or just a regular individual. And this would be a simple yes or no choice. And this would have to be a required field. And we want it to be displayed on the user's public profile. As for the visibility of this field, this time we want it to be only on the sign-up form, so they can see it once when they sign up, and then we don't ask for this information ever again. And again, link it to the host group and click save. Now you have all your user attributes here, and whenever a host comes on the website and signs up, he will first see this question on the sign-up form, and then all the other on the profile edition form, so they'll be able to give extra information about themselves, and this information will be visible to all the travelers.